We are back at it again here with another video with the Invest for Tomorrow. To the first time viewers and investors, welcome to the channel. To all subscribers, welcome back. Here we are with the SPY, the SP 500 index, continuing to fight to hold support here above the 470 area. And in today's volatility, our SPY bot at 12:25 p.m. sent out a bear indicator. From that moment forward, outflows crossed the midpoint to the downside. Pure weakness there on 42 vision. And put options went up 200% plus within an hour, guys. And as you see it popping up there within the screen, within the options chain, some options even went higher than that. If you guys want to receive this clarity and edge of the charts, you can now gain access to it as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicators, getting connected over to our bots and becoming part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together by receiving this clarity and edge over the charts and using these resources to maximize in either direction, whether stocks are going up or going down. Here we are with the SPY, the S&P 500 index, continuing to fight to hold support. And in today's video, we're going to break down the key levels I would watch going into tomorrow, what's going on with the bull and bear indicators and inflow versus outflow. But before we do, I want to share with you guys the home run opportunity that was mentioned this morning over at the Discord. So the home run today was spectacular beyond expectations. And if you guys want to know about these stocks early on and receive this clarity and edge of the charts, you can now gain access to it as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicators, getting connected over to our bots and becoming part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together. So the home run today was from our Tesla bot. Our Tesla bot at 9:35 a.m. sent out a bear indicator. And from that moment forward, outflows crossed the midpoint to the downside. Pure weakness there on 42 vision. And put options went up 100% plus within an hour, guys. If you guys want to receive this clarity and edge of the charts, you can now gain access to it as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicators, getting connected over to our bots. We look forward to having you join us, and we strive for opportunities like these every single day. Let's jump into these charts. Here we are with the SPY, the S&P 500 index, doing a full transition from dark green bars to white with red borders. And if this is your first time coming across the channel, this is 42 vision, which allows us to see the dips from the rips to the dips, and where the strength and weakness lies within the charts. And we also use our bull and bear indicators and inflow versus outflow as an extra layer of confirmation, which I'm going to pull up here and you can now gain access to as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicator, getting connected over to our bots and becoming part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together by receiving this clarity and edge over the charts and using these resources to maximize in either direction, whether stocks are going up or going down. And in today's video, I'm going to pull up the inflow versus outflow indicator, which adds that extra layer of confirmation and gives us that edge within the volatility. So here we are with the SPY, the S&P 500 index, under a bear indicator since yesterday at the 474.50 area. And I talked about how crucial it was for this to go ahead and switch into a bull indicator to justify any move to the upside here, as it was trying to come back up towards 375, a critical area of resistance. And what happened? It rejected it and continued lower to dip areas of white with red borders, and that bear indicator dominated into today's trading day. And the first support that we were watching was 473.50 to 473 area, and then below that was 470. And here it is, using it as support here in the middle of the day and trying to come back up towards the 472 area here in the second half going into the close. So definitely something to not ignore here is how strong the 470 support was in today's volatility and how it broke through key support levels as this bear indicator continued to dominate over this chart on the 30-minute time frame. Now, when we zoom out and look at this from the 1 hour, we could see here in the bigger picture how a bear indicator popped up at the 475.20 area. That was definitely something to not ignore And the last piece missing to complete the transition from the rip area to the dip area was Y with red borders, guys. And it continued from red bars to Y with red borders, hit it 2 times, and it's trying to create a double bottom effect here and find support in the second half above 470. And it's going to be crucial if this tries to come back up and inflows follow for this bear indicator to get canceled with a possible bull indicator. And I'll be watching that going into tomorrow very closely. Now, when we zoom into the volatility of the 15-minute, the 15-minute was under a bear indicator as well at that 475 area. We talked about how it was slowing down and it needed a bull indicator to pop up to cancel it. And if it didn't, I was going to watch if that bear indicator continued to dominate and if support got broken through. And you could see here how it was broken through in the pre-market, and we can see here how it brought itself back up towards it and rejected right off of it. A bull indicator did pop up here in the middle of the day, but it wasn't strong enough. Quickly things reversed, and you could see a bear indicator here in the second half at the 471.50 area. It was trying to break above that and head towards 472, as we're doing here live in the video. Earlier we were talking about how it's trying to get itself back above it, and here it is breaking through the 472 area. And it's going to be crucial here on the 15-minute for inflows to follow to justify this move even further, and for this bear indicator to get canceled with a possible bull indicator. I'll be watching that here going into the after hours and going into tomorrow. Now, we're going to pull up the inflow versus outflows, and I'm going to share with you guys the key levels I would watch going into tomorrow. Here we are with the SPY stock, the S&P 500 index, with outflows dominating here in the whole entire day since the pre-market on the 30-minute chart, right? Inflows were above yesterday, things slowed down, and into today's pre-market, outflows started to drop. They crossed over, and all day it's been trying to bring itself back up. And here it is in the second half with this jump here so far from the 471 area up to 472.40 area. It is trying to bring itself back up towards the midpoint. It's going to be crucial, and I'll be watching this very closely here into the close and going into tomorrow and the after hours if it could cross over or continue to get closer to the midpoint to possibly reflect even further strength here into these charts. Now, when we go ahead and zoom out and look at this from the 1 hour, we could see in the bigger picture, inflows never cross, guys. I talked about this in yesterday's video, how crucial it was for it to cross over to continue to reflect strength into these charts. If not, it could pull the whole entire chart down with it if these outflows started to pull down away from the midpoint, and that's what happened. Now here it is live in the action. If you go ahead and go back 10 seconds, right, you go ahead and go back just a few seconds here on this video, you could see that things were flat here and the inflows are starting to pick up here as well on the 1 hour, right? Switching from red to green, going back up from -4 to -3, and I'll be watching if this could continue to head towards the midpoint in the bigger picture to further reflect any strength here into these charts. Now, when we zoom into the 15-minute, we could see here outflows dominating all day. The brief moment that inflows crossed over, outflows came back, and you could see that weakness reflect into these charts and how it pulled downwards. But here it is with inflows crossing over into the close, and so far going from 471.17 to highs up here so far of 472.60, and it's going to be crucial for these inflows to continue to push up, followed by a possible bull indicator to continue this staircase effect so far to the upside, right? So I'm going to be watching these inflows very carefully going into the after hours in the volatility of the 15-minute and going into tomorrow. Now, what are the key levels I would watch? Well, the first thing is support, guys. If these outflows start to the downside again and start to reflect that weakness into these charts, the first support is 470, then below that is 468, and then comes the 465 area. If these outflows roll over, further weakness into the 30-minute as well, keeping it below the midpoint. Now, to the upside, it's going to be crucial and critical for this staircase effect to continue to retest key resistance levels and get these inflows away from the midpoint to the upside and roll that strength over into the 30-minute and 1 hour as well. And the first resistance is 473. Then above that, in that tight range, is 473 to 473.50. Once that gets broken through, the next resistance is 475. And then I'll be watching the 477 area. So these are the key levels I'll be watching to the upside and to the downside. The bull and bear indicators are going to be crucial. And the inflow versus outflows, I would not ignore them as they're trying to get closer here, as you see it live in the action, closer to the midpoint and pulling upwards further away on the 15-minute. I'll be watching that very closely going into tomorrow. As always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.